Okay, so we have this MacBook board that was shipped into us. User states that the system may have water damage on it and it's not powering on. So what we've done is plugged our power adapter in, and we can see that we have power, and it's green light power. We did notice that the LED video adapter here was damaged. It was popping off, so we soldered that back on. And what we're going to do is do a keyboard bypass on this. So we're going to take and position our probe not to this one, but to this one. So we hit that, and it triggers on the system for us. So we know that it has power. We know that it's running. So the system was sent in saying that they did not have power and it would not turn on. We got to turn on and do power here. Of course, we stuck a stick of memory in it, and everything seems to be fine. So what we're going to do is take and put this back out and notify our user and let them know. Okay, so we've changed the parts on this Mac, and what we're going to do is we have everything plugged in, and we're going to push the power button, and it appears that we have a fan, we have a chime. Let's see if we get video on it. It appears that it's initializing the hard drive. I can hear it. CD drive is spinning up. All we need is the Apple symbol to show us that we have a BIOS and a boot. So before with this, we had to do keyboard bypass. There was no initialization out of the keyboard. There was nothing off the we had to hit it over here, because when we pushed the keyboard button, there was nothing going through the power button on the keyboard. So now we're going to have to wait and see what happens. Now, as far as the screen, we did have a lighted screen like that. So this may be, we may have a fuse issue on this one. Not exactly sure, because we have high capacitors over here on this side. No real issue as far as that goes, and now it's turned itself off. So this may take another second to figure out what's going on with it, but I can keep pushing the power button and getting it to turn on. So we do have it turning on. We do have screen initialization without the keyboard bypass. That right there, that turned off. I'm not exactly sure. That may be a touch on something. So what we're going to do is test this a little bit further and see what's going on. But most likely, we'll see if it's going to work after effect. But for right now, it is doing some improved with the new parts. So we're going to go from there and see what happens. Okay, so now we have our MacBook. We took it apart and it was shutting off randomly. Well, come to find out, it was this part right here touching. So we just took it off. What it does is it hooks up right here, and that's part of it was touching the DC jack and was grounding out the case. So what we're going to do is turn this on, and we get a chime. We get it to turn on, and so we're going to see if we can't get an Apple screen. Most likely we will. We hear everything initializing, and we hear the fans and the hard drive and everything like that. We see that the fan is running, and so we're just going to wait for the system to boot up. So we have an Apple logo there, and we know that the system is working. Let's see if it'll load. Scrolly wheel. So we'll see if it actually goes into the Apple OS. Most likely it will. We have everything plugged up and turned on. Our only thing is left to mount the motherboard and the logic board and put the bottom on. So we'll see what happens. We'll continue to let it boot. Let me test the battery while we're sitting here thinking about it. So we have a fully functioning battery, so we know that the battery's charging and everything's working with it. This may take it a few minutes for it to actually boot into it. It's not uncommon for it to take this long. So it appears we have a booting system. Looks like it's going into the OS just fine. Hence the reason why we had the screen. We have the mouse cursor there. It actually looks like it's doing an install. So we know that it's working. We know everything's good with it. So what we're going to do is turn this off, unplug it, button everything up, screw all the screws in, do what it needs to do, and then turn it back on one more time and see where we go from there, and see if we got it working, and then we'll call it complete after that if it starts up. Okay, so we have it sitting here. So what we're going to do is turn it on, and it appears that it turns on. And what we're going to do is get our underside so we know that our panel's on there. So we have our panel, our plate on our system. So we know everything's good with it as far as that's concerned. So we're going to see if it boots up and what it does. I'm expecting it to do what it needs to do. We have a light right here. We push the power button and we get a backlight. So we know that it's starting up. And we hear everything running. We see the Apple symbol, so we know that it's good. Same as before. So we're going to call this one complete. We're going to turn it off and just put it in the box and say it's done. So this one's complete.